good will never be good enough. We set out to raise the bar and deliver an experience never heard or felt before. We are always in pursuit to perfect performance. We relish in the competition and competitiveness. Winning is the only option, and outperforming performance is our measure of success.
Real-world rideability meets racetrack-level performance. With a bike that can perform anywhere, you're going to want to ride it every.
VP Racing Fuels. No matter what motorcycle you race.
Neck and neck they go between Beaubier and Herron.
The difference in wearing it and not wearing it is like if a football player were to tackle you without any pads on versus with pads. It's pretty nuts.
Obviously, this sport is already dangerous by itself, but the fact that we have an airbag deploying and keeping us safe on track is extremely important. I'm really grateful for the technology that's advanced with it. I hate to ride without an airbag right now. I want to stay healthy to be able to jump back on my Superbike and be ready to race at the next one.
Last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, had a big crash at MotoAmerica in the rain, got off into the concrete wall outside the track, and luckily had the airbag on and was able to get back up slowly, but got back up and was able to get back to my wife, back to my kids, back to the team, and keep racing.
It tracks knowing where you almost have a moment on the bike, or when you're right before you hit the ground, it deploys. When you go on the bike, you can push that 110%, knowing that you have the best safety out there.
Just trying to help people realize how important it is to be wearing something like that, and being able to go home after something happening and still be able to go play with my kid and have a good time and not be laid up on the couch.
Welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park for Superbikes at New Jersey in the final round of this 10th anniversary championship season for the MotoAmerica classes. It is time now for the Mission King of the Baggers, their second qualifying session to set not only the field for the two races this weekend, but also to set the top 6 for the Mission King of the Baggers challenge that will follow this qualifying session. The rain has continued to haunt the area here with mist all around. This has been declared a wet session for these bagger bikes. Before we get bikes out on the racetrack, let's get down to Joe.
Cam Peterson, fastest in Q2. A South African who lives in California. How come you're so good in this rain?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the rain, but yeah, I just always tend to go pretty good in the wet stuff. But yeah, obviously Q2 this morning, the only reason why we went back out there was just in case we race something similar to this later this afternoon, try to get a little bit more of a setup and get ready for this afternoon. But it looks like it's going to be dry, so yeah, just stoked to kind of be back in the mix. Last 2 race weekends have been extremely tough on me and the team, and yeah, just looking forward to finish the season off on a strong note.
You will be 5th on the grid, and you're 5th in the standings as well. So tell me the goals and how you would like to close out your championship.
Yeah, I didn't realize I'm still pretty close to 3rd in the championship as well, and making the points up on those guys in the dry is going to be next to impossible. So my best opportunities in the wet. So yeah, if you see me dancing around, it's just me doing a little rain dance. So yeah, should be a good afternoon and good racing. But rain or shine, I just want to be in the mix and you know, fighting for podiums and giving it my all.
Well, in the mix you were today, a South African doing the rain dance. Best of luck later. Back to you, Jamie and Roger.
We're going to have to keep a live look down in the paddock to see if he is, in fact, dancing around. Thank you for that, Joe. You can see umbrellas still out there on the bikes. Just a couple of seconds until the clock will start for this qualifying session. Teammate Troy Herfoss riding the number 17. While bikes continue to sit, let's take a look back at some of the highlights, Roger.
Yeah, what a good race it was back at COTA, how it has been all year. The two guys, first and second in the points, finds themselves first and second. Here, you see Troy Herfoss, great start, Tyler O'Hara. Kyle Wyman, not the great start, didn't qualify exactly where he wanted to, had to work his way through the pack, gets himself past Tyler O'Hara right now. Troy Herfoss was pulling away a little bit, but Tyler O'Hara had a mechanical, you can see the fluid coming out, red flag, restart, same thing. This time though, Kyle Wyman gets a much better start. He already has himself into second, right behind Troy Herfoss, the guy that he is fighting for this championship. See Rocco Landers also, that really good start. He showed a lot of speed, winning a race at COTA, but Troy Herfoss was able to hold on, close that gap. Kyle Wyman second, coming down. This championship is going to come down to this final race this weekend.
Take a look at the championship point standings. It's been back and forth all season between Troy Herfoss, you saw with that win, and Kyle Wyman, who continues to lead the championship point standings, but it is only by 2 points.
Yeah, it's just so close, 2 points, and really competitive class as well. So, and the weather. So it's so difficult for these riders. They get the stress of the championship and also the weather changing. So they got to keep up with it, and sometimes they're going to have a long weekend.
You saw Hayden Gillum there sitting in third. Is a fan of Rocco Landers, you think?
Probably. He has a lot of them.
Rocco, it was cool to see back at Circuit of the Americas in the first race there. Rocco was able to get his first win here in Mission King of the Baggers, but yesterday, right at the end of qualifying, this was a moment he would have rather not had.
Yeah, just used a little too much track out of that last corner. Super fast. He mentioned it, you know, sometimes from where the track and the curb, there's a little bit of a divot, and it had some, had a little water there, and he was just putting in some blistering laps. Already put himself on that top spot, you know, just wanted to get a little bit more, thinking the track was getting quicker, and Rocco just made a little bit of a mistake, and hopefully it doesn't ding his confidence, because he has been really fast on this bagger the last couple races.
Saw a couple of bikes making their way towards the pit exit. Like we might get some takers here in this second qualifying session. It'll be a good session for Rocco to be able to get out there and shake that bike down after the team had to work to get it put back together.
Yeah, that'd be big, and just make sure everything is all back, and also the challenge is next as well, so they might want to get some laps.
See some of our crew out there. There's Bobby Fong now moving down pit lane. Before Rocco had that incident in qualifying, he was able to take one of our Insta 360 cameras around New Jersey Motorsports Park.
Yeah, and Rocco too, you know, you don't realize the speed and the work it takes for these riders on these baggers. I mean, just think about, this is wet conditions, and look how fast these guys are going on, you know, road glides and things like that. It's just pretty impressive to see right there in front of him is Kyle Wyman, Bobby Fong also. You see, I like watching the guys in front. We talk about in the rain how much smoother they are. You see their inputs on the bike, their lean angles a little bit less, a little bit slower. They go through this really fast. Through here on the bagger, changing direction is not that easy. Little sealer there, it's where we've seen JD Beach go down in the Superbike qualifier. Headed down this long back straightaway. Even in the rain, you'll be able to see on this onboard how far they can brake into turn one and how hard they're able to brake down into there.
These camera angles really allow you to see what the rider is dealing with and just how deliberate all of those inputs are.
And just how, you know, how smooth they are. And like through here, you know, a little bit of a puddle used to, but with the new pavement, they get rid of that puddle, so I know the riders like that. Changing the direction through there is really fast. And in the wet, you just have to be smooth coming up over this rise. The bike likes to get really light. You see Rocco kind of let off, but not all the way in this really fast right-hander.
over 600 pounds are these bagger bikes. Not easy to control, and then you add in the elements with the rain as well. And for Rocco Landers, being able to go out there and be behind bikes also, and to continue to learn in this category.
Yeah, and also for Rocco to get laps in the wet. He's really made huge strides in the wet and worked hard, and was really fast in it yesterday.
See the spray. It was one of the things yesterday in that qualifying session. There was a dry line that developed, but the spray was still really bad. You can see it on the windscreen there for Rocco Landers. This is live look now here in the second qualifying session. We saw the replays of the incident at the end of the session yesterday. So for Rocco, it's just about going back out there and getting himself back to his confidence.
Yeah, and for Rocco also just to make sure that like you said, that big crash, go out there and check the bike, and Kyle as well. And, this weekend, we talk about the weather, nonstop, but you just really never know, and want to get out there and get as many laps in all conditions in case you go out and it is like that for your race.
Riders getting up to speed now. We have under 10 minutes in this qualifying session. See Kyle Wyman there on the number 33, our championship points leader. Fans of MotoAmerica, you can now pick your favorite riders for a chance to win money. Available in your favorite sports books and daily fantasy sites like DraftKings and Underdog Fantasy. Just visit nxtbets.com/playma for exclusive sign-up bonuses for new players and receive some bonus cash. Available in legal states. Just check nxtbets.com/playma to see where you can play. Roger, you see on the screen Troy Herfoss going out. There's 33, it's Kyle Wyman. Which one of these riders are you putting money on?
It's really a hard bet. I think Kyle would kind of be the favorite with the cushion that he has, and then also just the laps that he has around here and the speed. But after yesterday, Troy showed he has a lot of speed around here as well, so it'd be a difficult bet. How about you?
Ooh, I'm going for Kyle. He's been determined all season. Troy Herfoss was a little bit of the unknown coming in, and they've both been able to win 6 times this season. But I think this weekend in this championship setting, I'm gonna go for Kyle. Seven and a half minutes in this second qualifying session. The top 6 will all get to go out for a chance to go for $5,000 cash courtesy of Mission Foods. One rider that is in the King of the Baggers category, also in Superbike, Max Flinders, not out there on the racetrack, not down on pit lane. Max is joining us now up here in the booth. Max, why aren't you out on the racetrack?
Unfortunately, at COTA, I did too much damage to my motorcycle. The guys worked their butts off this whole week, but the turnaround time was just a little short, so I wasn't able to get out here, and it's a bummer because looking at these conditions, I normally do pretty good on the bagger in this, so I really wish I could get out there. I was talking to all the teams, seeing if they had any extra bikes and everything, but yeah, it's just super unfortunate.
We saw you at COTA.
It was qualifying.
At COTA, yes, you were able to get on board a Harley. One of the photographer, somebody that also races in bagger races around the country, loaned you his bike. What was that experience like?
It was kind of crazy. The bike literally just showed up on Sunday, and I've never sat on the bike, never ridden the bike, I've never ridden a Harley. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's a bike here, let's go ride it. We went out, the first lap was the warm-up lap, and I just went out and pushed it and tried to feel it, but the foot pegs were really high. I was almost cramping on the bike. The bike is not what these bikes are. Like, these bikes are so amazing. Like, how far MotoAmerica and King of the Baggers have brought these bikes is just remarkable. So the bike that I was on just wasn't up to spec with these ones. I think I was topping out at like 125 on the back straight, and these guys are doing like 160. So I just needed the points. We've been in the points battle all year. We've been fighting against the Saddleman guys, and I've really been trying to stay in front of them. But unfortunately, I hope everyone does it well this weekend, but it looks like they're going to take me in the championship.
We see Rocco Landers here. He was on that provisional pole yesterday before he had a big moment. You see Troy Herfoss here. These are two riders, Max, that are new to the King of the Baggers platform this season. You've been a part of it for a number of years. How difficult is it to learn these bikes?
It's honestly a big shock. Like, you get on these bikes and you almost have like an expectation for them, but they just exceed them all. Like, honestly, the way they handle, even though they weigh 650 pounds, they are quite flippable because you're so high up on the bike that you can just really get them to turn. But watching Rocco and Troy come in this year, I mean, Troy right off the bat, he just said, oh, it's like a supermoto, and he just started taking off, and he got used to it really quickly. Rocco, I think at the start he struggled a little bit more, but at Brainerd, something clicked with him, and he's been riding absolutely remarkably since then. And now, even in these wet conditions, Rocco's really stepping up, and he's like really doing well. It was unfortunate what happened to him yesterday on the front straightaway, but yeah, no, he's been really, really on the ball this weekend. And I know Troy's not going to give it up without a fight because I know he wants that championship, and I'm really excited to see what Kyle will do because Kyle's one of those guys that will just leave it all on the line. And like I said, it's the championship this weekend, so it's going to be really exciting. This is going to be probably one of my favorite races to watch this and Superbikes. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be in the Superbike one, but watching this, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat.
It's going to come down to which rider finishes ahead of the other one with only 2 points separating both Kyle Wyman and Troy Herfoss. You see Kyle Wyman now going to the top of the charts in this session, a 141.3. Nowhere close to where we were yesterday. Very different track conditions, though, but just out there getting the experience. You can see that time to beat from yesterday. Rocco Landers at 124.8, but those were, again, very different, much better conditions than what we have here this morning. Max Flinders up in the booth with us. You know, yesterday on our preview show, we had Chuck Axlin join us to wrap up this 10th anniversary season. I posed him with a trivia question, Max. The question was, which rider at the very first MotoAmerica event, it was a test at COTA, was the first rider out on the racetrack? You got it right. Do you know who it was?
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah, I remember Nicole sent me a picture of it, the first ever lap done for MotoAmerica, and it was my yellow bike coming across the line, and I was like, that's actually really sick. I think me and the team were talking about it recently. I was like, I think we're one of the longest lasting teams in MotoAmerica, and I'm probably one of the longest guys who's been riding with them. So I've seen everything that's been going on, and I don't know, it's been such a cool process to be a part of. And yeah, no, I don't know, I love MotoAmerica. It's awesome.
We always call you a fan favorite. You're always smiling and you're always with the fans and taking time to talk with everybody that comes over to talk to you, but you're also a paddock favorite, and we really saw that here last year when you were able to get on the podium. Just the amount of support from riders in all different classes coming over to congratulate you, that had to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been here so long. I don't think I've made any enemies, but yeah, I've made friends with all these guys. I've seen guys go from factory teams to no ride to teams, like lower teams to like privateer teams to everything. So I just know everyone, and I know, like I said, I think everyone's semi-cheering for me because we are one of the privateer teams that's been fighting for so long. So when I did get that podium, I was like I said, Kyle was the first one to greet me in the paddock, and he was so excited for me. Gillen was on track with me. He told me he looked back and he was like, is that Max? So yeah, everyone was so excited. Even the commentators were like a little speechless at some point. So yeah, it was a huge touching moment for me, and just to see like my impact in the paddock and like what people like actually see and believe in me, it was really, really cool.
Max, we see a lot of riders doing two classes, Superbike and Bagger, or Superbike and Stock 1000. You're one of those guys that does double classes. What do you think that track time helps you, or do you think it hurts having to go back and forth between two bikes?
I think it helps me more, but it does hinder me in a couple ways. It helps me more because track time's track time. I mean, the more laps you get on these tracks, especially in these kind of conditions, you just get more comfortable. You can know how you can push. And the thing for me is, like, the lap times are a little bit different from Superbikes to Baggers, but, like, the braking markers are pretty much the same because on the R1, I can push deeper, but I'm going faster. On these, I have to brake a little earlier because of the weight. But it's like very similar. But then the other thing is the gear shifts. That's my biggest thing. It's like the R1, you go into a corner, you go from 6th to 1st, like bang, 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 bang. And then on these, you have to be a lot smoother because these things are so torquey and they get really out of shape fast if you're like banging through the box, and just knowing which ones you need to hit and how many you need to shift down for that one. But I would definitely say it helps me. Like Jake Lewis is out there, all the track time he got with the Super Hooligans, the King of the Baggers, and the 600s. I mean, it looks like he's killing it. So I think track time is more important than switching off of the bikes.
We've seen the improvements that Jake Lewis has had from all of that track time this season. The checkered flag is now flown for this second and final qualifying session in Mission King of the Baggers. Troy Herfoss set the lowest time here this morning, a 140.1, followed by Kyle Wyman and James Rispoli. You see the 33 and the 43 out on the racetrack. Rocco Landers also taking advantage, getting some track time, but it was Kyle Wyman on the 33 that did the most laps at 6.
And I think for Kyle and Troy both, we see them out there getting a lot of laps in. They just want to be prepared for everything. All track conditions, wet, dry, because you never know, here it can rain right before the race. Just like last year, it wasn't supposed to rain, and then some rain came in. So I think you see those guys being such a huge weekend, want to be prepared for everything.
Finishing out this session, James Rispoli was able on that lap to find some improvement, a 140.4, moving himself around Kyle Wyman again just in this qualifying session. Conditions yesterday were much better. That will set our field. I want to say thank you to Max Flinders for joining us up here this morning. I know it was a surprise, but we're happy that you were here. Nice to talk to you as always. Look forward to seeing what you're able to do next season. With checkered flags now out here this morning, let's go ahead and get back down to Joe.
Thanks, Jamie. Yes, here with Tyler O'Hara, who will be in the challenge race coming up shortly and will be 5th on the grid when it comes to race 1 later. How will you use this challenge race to help prepare for the big one this afternoon?
Yeah, just every time we've been out on track, it's been mixed conditions and it's changed every time out. It's been very technical, but I feel really comfortable, very confident. We have a really good energy going right now on the team. Everyone's working together. Troy's just put in the fastest lap. He's riding amazing. Yeah, just get through it, let the race come to me, and be disciplined out there. It's going to be really about hitting your marks and not overriding and just let the race come to you.
And conditions as well. We're hearing a little bit about this Instagram post, you and your son on the 2 wheels. Tell me about that and how it's going with him, building him into a rider.
Yeah, I'm not pushing it either. We got the EFTR Junior little electric motorcycle. Bobo, he's 2.5, and he's been bugging me to ride motorcycle like his 2 big brothers. And I told me he needed to learn how to ride a bicycle first, and he learned how to ride that in a day. And man, he just loves it, and he wants to ride till it's dark. And yeah, he just loves it. And yeah, I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him. And yeah, just keeping it fun, letting it happen organically.
Excellent DNA there. 2.5 years old and already bugging Tyler O'Hara for a spot on the bike. Well, let's take you over here and see who else we have getting ready for the challenge race, heading up to Revzilla, Modal Vance and Hines. We see the #1 bike here, and I'm just gonna drop right in and have a little chat with Hayden Gillum. Well, Hayden, very rainy out there today. Of course, you've got the challenge race coming up in just a moment. What will be the strategy? Because we've got a big race 1 later and a challenge with $5,000 on the line.
I don't know. We'll see. It's, right now it's up in the air. So far, I think every session except for qualifying 1 that I've been in this weekend has been wet, so or half wet, half dry, and yeah, it's looking like the same kind of thing right now. So we'll see. It's, the challenge race is important. It's nice to get out there with the guys and kind of see what everybody's got, but it's not the big deal race. So I don't know. We're gonna see what we can do, have some fun, go out there. Hopefully everybody stays up, makes it to the race this afternoon. Yeah.
It is a big weekend. You will be 2nd on the grid this afternoon, and Rocco Landers, just walking there behind us, will be 1st on the grid. So it was a great session for Revzilla, Modal Vance and Hines. How do you feel it'll be up front with the pair of you leading that pack?
It's good. It's good. It's exciting. I'm happy for the team, happy for Rocco. So yeah, it's exciting. I know for Revzilla, Motul, Vanstein's, it's good to have both the bikes at the front of the pack and kind of showing off a little bit. So it's exciting. It's good to see.
Okay, well, Rocco is right behind you with Terry Vance. Now, Rocco, I know you did hurt yourself yesterday. First of all, how is the body feeling?
Not bad. The MotoAmerica doctors took good care of me. I'm feeling a lot better. Got a good night's sleep. Got some stuff on it to make it feel better, and we're just getting ready to do this challenge. It should be pretty good. I'm ready for the main race as well.
Of course, you're going to be first on the grid for the main race. What is your strategy going to be in the challenge?
Just try to get a good start. I mean, it's such a short race. So, like, if you mess your start up, your race is close to as good as over. But I mean, whatever. Let's just try to get a good start. I mean, it's the same strategy as every race. To try to get to the front as soon as possible and do what I can to lead.
Okay, sounds like some of these riders are going to be feeling out the track, feeling out the conditions in the challenge race, because of course it has been very rainy out here. That Q2 didn't give too much away, so this challenge race will be another opportunity to feel out those conditions. We're just walking past the number 17 bike here of Indian SNS Motorcycle, and I can see Troy Herfoss, who has a very big day ahead. Troy, I know it's a huge day for you. It is a huge championship on the line, 2 points in it. You had a great Q1. How are you feeling heading into this challenge and latest race?
I just feel fortunate. I'm the lucky guy that gets to race for a championship this year. Yeah, they're trying to make us nervous, aren't they? The weather guides, like, as if there wasn't enough pressure and enough nerves already. We've got, I haven't ridden on a track yet that has a dry line. Look, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I feel like it's a privilege to be in this position and to be able to try and race for a championship with a team like Indian. They've all got a lot of motivation, a lot of experience. So I'm in good hands. Just don't mess it up, right?
Don't mess it up, but you've been doing so well, and every track for you has been a new track coming over from Australia. This one, though, is Carl Wyman's home track. Does that sit on your mind a little bit?
Look, the hardest thing is our coffee order, right? Do you have the same thing? I put my coffee order in, no one can understand me over here. It must be an Australian accent. No, look, it's been tough, but not as tough as you would think. Like I said, when you've got a great team around you, and the only thing I've got to think about is learning a track. When you're a professional rider, if you can't learn a track in a day or two, you're probably not in the right game, are you? So I've been really lucky, really fortunate, and this track's got really good surface too. That's been resurfaced recently. And it's kind of feels like a GP track, so looking forward to it.
Excellent, great team and great talent. Back to you, Jamie and Roger.
Thank you, Joe. Great to hear from the riders as we get ready for this challenge race. We'll take a look at the combined results from qualifying. Rocco Landers, our pole sitter. Hayden Gillum in second. James Rispoli. We'll also see Troy Herfoss, Tyler O'Hara, and Kyle Wyman when we come back right after this.
Get ready to eat like a king with Mission Foods. Load up those saddlebags for Mission King of the Baggers Racing and feed your need for flavor. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
It just kind of surpassed all my expectations as far as handling and actually rideability. It's really impressive.
This bike handles in the mountains like no other bike I've ever ridden.
Sport bike, American touring bike. It's a great hybrid of the two.
It sits down in the road when you hit that throttle and you just take off for the sunset. It drops into that flow and you're gone.
Now, the same technology that can help racers survive crashes like these can protect everyday riders like you. Airbags. Airbags save injuries. And airbags save worry. That's why 96% of people say they want their loved ones who ride to wear an airbag. But there's one thing an airbag can't save. You, if you never put one on. Learn more at revzilla.com/airbags.
I think the best way to experience nature is on a Harley Davidson. Most people ride to escape. I ride to connect, to discover and find. I ride towards something, always, never away. Full throttle, no looking back. That's what I've been riding towards every day.
bud? Ready for your first race?
So there's some serious players that are going to be coming up here. Lots of great riders. A race starts here. And here we go. Revs are on. Lights are on. We're ready. Who gets the line? Oh, it's a
Kyle Wyman and James Rispoli have made quite the pairing for the HD team this year. The factory racing team is looking for a double podium finish.
Stop.
James Rispoli?
Back with you here at New Jersey Motorsports Park for Superbikes at New Jersey, the final round of the 10th anniversary season, the MotoAmerica Championship. Qualifying has now wrapped up for all 5 classes that are here this weekend, including Mission King of the Baggers. So we now turn our attention to the Mission King of the Baggers Challenge. This will be a 3-lap shootout between the top 6 qualifiers for a chance at winning $5,000. Roger, take us around this racetrack.
Yeah, really tight down into turn 1. That's a passing zone. Up over 2, really fast chicane down into the fast kink there. Turn 4, turn 5, you'll see the most passing down into there. Then 6, 7, super long right-hander all the way down into turn 9. Then you get into turn 10, another slow left-hander. But important to get that drive out of there to 11, 11A through 12 onto the front straightaway.
Thank you, Roger. Newly paved New Jersey Motorsports Park. We'll take a look at our starting grid. Mention it's based off of the 2 qualifying sessions, all of these times coming from yesterday. Rocco Landers, Hayden Gillum, and James Rispoli making up our front row.
And we got Troy Herfoss, Tyler O'Hara, and Kyle Wyman.
Not many riders took the opportunity to go out during that second qualifying session, all because of the weather conditions, but it's the same here for this 3-lap shootout, the Mission Challenge. So take a look at the weather, 74 degrees, 90% humidity, which is why this racetrack is not drying out as quickly as these riders would like. You can see some water still standing. It has been declared a wet race by race control, and what that gives the teams the opportunity to do is take over the option of wet tires or slicks. You can see a dry line there on the racetrack though. See all 6 riders out there. Scott Padgett with the red flag out of the way. 3 laps here for the Mission King of the Baggers Challenge. You see the lights in the top left-hand side of the screen. The lights are out, and it is time to go racing. It was a great start for Hayden Gillum.
Yeah, great start for Hayden Gillum there. Rocco Landers from pole position is going to end up in turn 1 toward the back, but Troy Hertfoss able to make the move down into turn 1.
Troy Hertfoss going for the championship. You saw that look over his shoulder again. There are no points that are earned for the championship over these 3 laps, but it all comes down to $5,000 put on the line for Mission Foods. For joining us here on YouTube, this is bonus coverage from our MotoAmerica Live Plus feed that happens all day at each of the rounds throughout the season. See Rocco Landers looking to make the move around Troy Hertfoss. Rocco was quick yesterday and dry.
Quick, you can see Troy leaving the dry line where if you try to make a pass, you'd have to get out into the wet. So just such good racecraft by him. James Rispoli also really good this weekend on the bagger. It looks like Kyle Wyman just going to let these guys do their thing, and he's already backed all the way out of it. He's going to wait for the race.
It's risk versus reward when you think about championship points. 2 very different strategies between our top 2. Kyle Wyman not putting the risk on the line. Troy Hertfoss leading this challenge race, looking to get more and more experience.
And for Troy, this is a tough spot when you're leading and the track is changing, because you're setting the pace. You're the first one into the corner. Everybody's kind of judging their speed off you, and they see you crash. They're going to know the track's slick there.
Rocco Landers staying right there with Troy Hertfoss. James Rispoli was quick during that second qualifying session.
Oh, big.
But James goes down.
Down into turn 1. Man, unfortunate for James. It seems like every time he gets close to the leaders in pace, he has a little bit of a mistake. But also, some other guys made a mistake too. I seen Hayden Gillum's rear end really step out going into turn 1. Troy Hertfoss and these guys have really slowed down. So I don't know if it's something on the track or something we missed.
While we were watching that, you can see Rocco Landers now at the lead. This is the top 3. Here's a replay of what happened with Rispoli.
Yeah, see, Hayden, look at Hayden though, right there in front of him. Also slipped and slide as well.
It's the only replay that we have, but we can see James Rispoli walking back over to the bike as we go back to this live 3-lap action here. And now Hayden Gillum is in control, being able to get around Rocco Landers and Troy Hertfoss. Rocco settled back into 3rd. You heard Hayden talk to Joe there on pit lane before this, saying, I'm not really sure. There's a little bit of an unknown. Do we go for it? Do we push for it? It's $5,000. But ultimately, for Hayden, he felt comfortable, and he's in a position to go for that money.
Yeah, and he's able to follow Troy, and it seems like he's seen where all the dry lines, and now he's out front putting in some really good laps. We've seen him so fast yesterday, stock 1000 in these kind of drying conditions.
White flag now being shown. This is the final lap of the final Mission King of the Baggers Challenge race of the 2024 season. Hayden Gillum continuing to lead over Troy Hertfoss. Rocco Landers sitting there in 3rd. Go back to the start of the season, Roger. Rocco wasn't able to qualify for these, but over the course of the last several races, Rocco's really been able to figure out this Baggers platform.
Yeah, and just been so fast, fighting for wins and challenges, and also the races as well. Looking at the lap times, Kyle Wyman just did the fastest lap of the race down there in 4th. So that's going to be encouraging for him. Not win, but know that he's doing the lap times.
It's an opportunity just to get more laps in these types of conditions. For Hayden Gillum, sitting 3rd in the overall championship point standings with that #1 plate. It'll be the final weekend he's able to race in Baggers with the #1 plate. Looking to go out on a season high. He's been able to win 3 times.
You can see Troy's closing up. There's not a lot of opportunities. Maybe sneak up the inside right here if he drifts wide, but Hayden, look how he keeps it tight. He's not going to leave the door open. Maybe the inside into here, just a really tough pass.
I think you were right there on that opening lap. Troy Hertfoss leading the way. Everybody able to follow him and figure out where that dry line was. Hayden took notes and now has put it into effect as Hayden Gillum continuing to lead Troy Hertfoss. As we come around for Hayden Gillum, he wasn't sure he was going to go for it, but he is able to take home $5,000 courtesy of Mission Foods, the bragging rights that go along with it, and a lot of confidence going into racing this afternoon. See the congratulations there from Troy Herfoss. A lot of respect between these riders. Look at that shot to the line.
Great run out of that last corner for Troy, and both those guys got down into the 29s that lap.
Great respectful riding all season. Look at all of the fans that are around New Jersey Motorsports Park here this weekend for the championship round. This is going to be a great battle this afternoon as well as tomorrow afternoon. Only 2 points separating our top two in the overall championship. There's Troy Herfoss on the number 17, currently sitting in second. For James Rispoli, that's a long walk back.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you feel for him and just had such a good weekend going, and he's been trying to get toward the front where his teammates been all year. Unfortunately, he went down.
Hayden Gillum did not go out during that second qualifying session, so all of the experience and these types of intermediate conditions for Hayden Gillum came from this challenge, and he'll be motivated going into the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, he's not fighting for the championship, but you know he's going to be fighting to get some wins, and track conditions like this, I think he has showed he will be tough to beat, wet or dry.
Rocco Landers, his teammate for the season, mentioned the fact that he's been able to pick up the pace over the last several races. He has now been on the podium 6 times in a row. Let's take a look at the highlights from this 3-lap shootout.
Yeah, we thought Hayden Gillum was going to get the start there from the middle of the front row, but Troy Herfoss is able to be on the inside down into turn 1. From here, the top 3 guys started checking out right away, and then James, there's a mistake. You see Rocco takes his hand off. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing there. And then Hayden Gillum makes a move into turn 4 there on Rocco. Then Troy Herfoss sees that down into turn 5, and from there, Hayden just got out front, put a lot of laps in, never made a mistake. Troy put up a heck of a fight though on that last lap and tried to close it down, getting this run out of the last corner, but just wasn't close enough at the line.
For Hayden Gillum, able to get the win and get a thumbs up from the competitor. That was the final Mission King of the Baggers challenge of the season. Take a look at the full results here between these 6 riders. A couple of them ducking out early on. It all came down to the top 3. We have Hayden Gillum there with the win and Troy Herfoss in second. Rocco Landers able to finish in 3rd. Kyle Wyman with a quick lap there in 4th. Tyler O'Hara, and then we saw James Rispoli in the unfortunate incident that he had. Let's go ahead and hear from our winner with Joe.
Here with Hayden Gillum, the winner of the Mission Foods King of the Baggers Challenge. Hayden, you really like this challenge, don't you? You told us you were going to maybe take it cautious, but you went for it. What changed your mind?
I honestly have no idea. I think, you know, that the warm-up lap, it had a really good dry line, and yeah, we were just, I don't know. It was it was interesting. That first lap was a little wild going down into turn 1. Me and Troy both lost the rear and both went a winning weekend.
Indeed, and you had Troy Herfoss right on your tail there, right over that checkered flag. Feeling the track, feeling the competition, how does that set you up for the big race later today?
Well, I mean, obviously Troy and Kyle have a championship to figure out, so they're gonna be riding at their best and their hardest. So that's all I can expect from them is for them to race really hard, and hopefully I can get up in front of them and not have to worry about them. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the weather does and see what the track does.
Well, you've had a great start so far. Let's get you that lovely check.
That check now being presented to Hayden Gillum, $5,000 to take into the rest of the weekend. A great result for him. We'll see if he can turn it into race wins as well. We're going to step away, but just a reminder, if you're here at the racetrack, come on over to the paddock for the Dunlop autograph session. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, I'm Michael. I'm with Insta360, and we're here at MotoAmerica in Austin, Texas, and you're at the Insta360 booth right now. We're showing off some of the most innovative action cameras in the world. This is the Insta360 X3. It has a lens on the front and a lens on the back, and it sees everything. And these are by far the most popular action camera for any two-wheel or motorsports these days. What's really cool about it is you don't really have to worry about how it's mounted or where the camera's pointing because it's recording everything. It's got best-in-class stabilization. It records at 5.7K, so ultra-high resolution, and you get a whole suite of editing features all for free inside the Insta360 app. So once you're done capturing, you could reframe the footage and essentially pick any angle in any moment from your shot. And what's really cool is that we partnered with MotoAmerica, and these guys are using the X3, the Insta360 One RS, and the Go 3 for the live broadcast. If you're interested in learning more about Insta360 cameras, check us out online. Go to www.insta360.com or look for @Insta360 across any social media platform. You'll see a ton of content on there. You'll see examples of how people use their footage. You'll get pricing and everything like that on our website. Hope you guys can check us out. Thank you so much.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Darwin Yeager, Trade Marketing Manager for Motul USA. So Motul is a world-class French company specializing in the production, distribution of high-quality engine lubricants across 120 countries. We're involved with MotoAmerica. This is our third year now because it's our heritage. We are known as a racing brand. That's what kind of the brand's been built on. And to be able to have the platform of a MotoAmerica racing series, especially with the King of the Baggers, it allows us to kind of test our products. It's a proving ground. Basically, if it's going to work for these guys at the high engine temps, you know, going 180 miles an hour, then it's going to work for just about anybody.
My name's Corey West. I ride for Team Saddlemen Race Development on the number 13 Harley Davidson. These bikes were not designed to do what we're doing. We're going out there, we're ragging the hell out of them. I mean, I'm beating that thing up, banging gears. I mean, they have quick shifters on them now. I don't think any Harley was designed for that. We're not going easy on these things. And having Motul in those bikes just gives me the confidence that these things aren't gonna just scatter when I go grabbing one too many downshifts on accident or something. You know, we're pushing these things really hard. And when you have good quality chemicals and lubricants inside the motor, everything's happy.
For more information or any technical details that you may be seeking on the Motul product line, make sure to go to motul.com, and it'll feature our entire motorcycle range as well as our automotive range as well.